What's up, everyone? Your favorite host here, back with another mind-blowing mystery from ancient Egypt, the pyramid that fell apart, unraveling the secrets of Meidum. All right, buckle up, because today we're diving deep into a mystery that's gonna blow your mind. When you think of Egyptian pyramids, what comes to mind? The Great Pyramids of Giza, right? Massive, iconic, eternal. But what if I told you there's another pyramid, a secret one in Beni Suef, that actually changed the entire history of Egyptian pyramid building? This isn't just some old pile of rocks. It was a pivotal turning point, a place where strange and incredible experiments reshaped ancient Egyptian engineering forever. Now, this pyramid isn't like the others. Its unusual collapse shape earned it nicknames like the False Pyramid or the Collapse Pyramid. It almost looks like a pyramid that gave up and decided to crumble. But this isn't just an accident. It's a story, a narrative that reveals the sheer brilliance and sky-high ambitions of the ancient Egyptians. The confusing king. Who really built this pyramid? Huni or Sneferu? For a long time, Egyptologists argued about who was behind the Meidum Pyramid. Was it King Huni, the last pharaoh of the 3rd dynasty, or King Sneferu, the first pharaoh of the 4th dynasty? Initially, many believed Huni started it and Sneferu finished it. Maybe Huni wanted to leave a big legacy, but he didn't have as many monumental structures as other kings. But now, the picture's completely changed. All the new evidence screams one thing. King Sneferu was the primary and possibly the only builder of the Meidum Pyramid. His name is all over the site, and the ancient name for the location was Jed Sneferu, meaning Sneferu endures. Imagine, people knew this was Sneferu's pyramid thousands of years ago, and we're still debating it. Plus, around the pyramid there are tons of tombs dating back to the early 4th dynasty, belonging to Sneferu's children and high-ranking officials, like Prince Rahotep and his wife Nafreb. Their stunning limestone statues are true masterpieces at the Egyptian Museum in Cairo. All this confirms Sneferu's central role. It really shows how Egyptology evolves, always relying on solid evidence, not just guesswork. Time travelers. Who visited this pyramid through the ages? The Meidum Pyramid wasn't just important in the pharaonic era, it captivated people throughout history. Imagine, during the reign of Thutmose III, a mighty king from the 18th dynasty, centuries after its construction, a scribe named Ankh-Khepere-Seneb visited the site. He left an inscription on the wall saying he came to see the splendid temple of Horus Sneferu. This proves that even in its deteriorated state, the pyramid was still considered magnificent century later. Fast forward to the 15th century AD, the Arab historian Taqi al-Makrizi described the pyramid as a mountain of 5 steps. Can you believe it? Still 5 visible steps. This means it was in much better shape than it is now. But unfortunately, by the time Napoleon Bonaparte's expedition arrived in Egypt in 1799, French explorers noted that only 3 steps remained. This shows you how the pyramid gradually deteriorated over time. All these accounts reveal something crucial. King Sneferu wasn't just a one-pyramid wonder. He was like a monumental pyramid contractor, building 3 massive pyramids: Meidum, the Bent Pyramid, and the Red Pyramid. This wasn't just a king building tombs. He was shaping the architectural identity of an entire dynasty, experimenting with different forms to achieve his ideal eternal dwelling. Can you imagine a king doing architectural experiments at the expense of his people? But it also confirms he was indeed the greatest of Egyptian builders. The unique design. Meidum Pyramid, the bridge between step and true pyramids. Folks, the Meidum Pyramid was like the beta test for all other pyramids. It's the cornerstone that connected the step pyramids, like Djoser's, with the true smooth-sided pyramids we see at Giza.
This pyramid went through at least 3 distinct construction phases, which archaeologists labeled E1, E2, and E3. Phase E1. It started as a 7-step pyramid, very similar to Djoser's. Its initial height was about 65 meters, 213 feet. Imagine, just a regular pyramid. Phase E2. This is where the expansion happened. They added stone blocks around the existing structure to create an 8-step pyramid. It was like a ring about 5 meters, 16 feet wide around the original core. In this completed stage, it was meant to reach about 85 meters, 279 feet high. Phase E3, this was the truly ambitious stage. They decided to transform the stepped structure into a true pyramid with smooth, inclined sides. How? By filling the steps with a limestone casing, creating a continuous slope. The planned final height was between 92 and 95 meters, 312 feet. That's ambition, folks. Pure madness. Dangerous innovations and fatal flaws. Despite its current appearance, which looks like a cube or a 3-stepped tower, the Meidum Pyramid introduced incredible architectural innovations. This was the first pyramid to have a burial chamber within its core. What an achievement! It was also the first site where they used the technique of corbelled ceilings, those arch-like ceilings, to distribute the enormous weight of the upper blocks. This very technique was later brilliantly used in the Grand Gallery and Burial Chamber of Khufu's pyramid itself. But unfortunately, with all these innovations came fatal design flaws. The biggest defect was that the outer layer of the pyramid was built on sand, not on the bedrock like the inner layers. That's like building a skyscraper on loose sand. It's bound to collapse. Also, the inner stepped pyramid's platforms were not level and sloped outwards, which severely impacted stability when the outer casing was added. All these phases show just how ambitious the Egyptians were. They could change designs mid-construction, even on massive projects. But at the same time, it highlights the immense risks involved in these experimental endeavors. The collapse wasn't just a failure, it was a crucial learning experience from which they learned invaluable lessons. The Meidum Pyramid and Sneferu's other pyramids, tales of failure and success. The Meidum Pyramid differs from other pyramids in many ways, yet it shares some innovations. Djoser's Step Pyramid. Meidum's first phase was similar to Djoser's pyramid, but Djoser's was never intended to be a true pyramid. The Bent and Red pyramids, Sneferu's other pyramids, the catastrophic collapse of the Meidum Pyramid directly influenced Sneferu's decision to change the angle of the Bent Pyramid mid-construction. Imagine the scale of the disaster to make a king alter a pyramid's design halfway through. As for the Red Pyramid, built after the Bent Pyramid, it's an architectural marvel because they managed to solve all the engineering problems and it remains intact to this day. Interestingly, the Red Pyramid and Meidum share almost the same internal layout. The collapse of the Meidum Pyramid wasn't just a failure, it was a crucial learning experience. This failure forced engineers to understand the limits of their current methods and innovate, leading to greater stability in subsequent pyramids. It shows how intelligent the Egyptians were, learning from their mistakes, even if those mistakes could jeopardize a project the size of a pyramid. The mystery of the chambers and passages, folks, gives you a glimpse into the genius of ancient Egyptian engineers. The entrance and passages. The entrance of the Meidum Pyramid is on the north face, common for Egyptian pyramids, but oddly, it's unusually high up, about 15 to 20 meters, 49 to 66 feet above the current ground level. From there, a steeply descending passage leads you down, then transitions into a horizontal passage. This horizontal passage goes through 2 recesses, then leads to a vertical shaft that ascends to the burial chamber.
The burial chamber. This chamber is relatively small, but importantly, it's cleverly placed at ground level, or rather, carved directly into the bedrock beneath the pyramid's core. But here's the surprise. The chamber appears unfinished. Its walls are rough, and there are still wooden supports in place that were supposed to be removed after construction. And most importantly, there's no sarcophagus, and no evidence whatsoever that Sneferu or anyone else was buried in this pyramid. That's a huge mystery, folks. The repeated description of Meidum's internal structure, a single descending passage, a horizontal passage, and a vertical shaft leading to a burial chamber, is consistently referred to as relatively simple compared to its predecessors, yet at the same time, an innovation that would become standard. This means that while the exterior was experimental, the interior layout served as a fundamental template for later pyramids. especially the pioneering use of corbelled ceilings. This was a massive step in mastering the engineering challenges of creating large open spaces within massive stone structures. Corbelled ceilings and weight-relieving spaces. Engineering genius. Imagine this with me. The burial chamber in Meidum features a corbelled ceiling. This technique, in short, involves each layer of the ceiling projecting inwards as it rises, distributing the immense weight of the upper stone blocks to prevent them from crushing the internal spaces. The Meidum Pyramid is the first site where we see this corbelling technique used in ancient Egypt, a technique later used to stunning effect in Khufu's Great Pyramid. And get this, in 1998, weight-relieving spaces were discovered above two recesses and the lower part of the descending passage. These spaces, similar to those in Khufu's pyramid, alleviate pressure on the structures below. This shows you how much thought the Egyptians put into every detail to build something that would last for thousands of years. Crazy and mysterious theories. Does this pyramid hide more secrets? The Meidum Pyramid, with its unfinished state and turbulent history, is the subject of many crazy and controversial theories, especially regarding its collapse and ultimate purpose. The catastrophic collapse theory, design flaws. This is the most accepted theory among experts. They believe the pyramid suddenly collapsed due to fatal design flaws. These flaws included the outer layer being built on sand instead of bedrock, and the inner stepped pyramid's platforms slanting outwards. All these were structural weaknesses that would have been severely affected by the enormous weight of the added outer casing, especially during heavy rainfall. The evidence for this is the lack of any tools or equipment left by the workers, suggesting a sudden abandonment of the site after the collapse. And this failure is what led Sneferu to change the angle of the bent pyramid. Gradual erosion and stone quarrying. Some others argue that the collapse was due to natural erosion over centuries, and also that local farmers quarried stones for their own buildings. They claim the rubble around the pyramid is in layers, indicating gradual erosion and destruction. But this theory is highly debated, because the pyramid itself was never fully completed. No valley temple, an unfinished mortuary temple, uninscribed stelae, an unfinished burial chamber with wooden supports still in place. This means the pyramid's state deteriorated even before its construction was finished. Pyramids and the stars. Is there a connection? There's a popular theory that Egyptian pyramids, especially those at Giza, are aligned with celestial bodies, like Orion's belt, for example. They claim the passages in the Great Pyramid point towards the North Star and Orion's belt to connect the pharaohs with the afterlife. Ancient Egyptians did use astronomical observations for orientation. But for the Meidum Pyramid, this theory raises many questions. There's no physical evidence or explicit Egyptian texts suggesting Meidum's alignment with specific constellations. Also, the positions of the stars themselves have changed over thousands of years. So this topic remains a big debate.
The dummy pyramid and the Sun Temple. Strange purposes for a pyramid? There are even stranger theories about the Meidum Pyramid, the dummy pyramid or cenotaph theory. Some Egyptologists believe that Meidum was never intended to be a royal burial tomb. Instead, it was just a dummy pyramid or a cenotaph, a monumental tomb without a body, for Sneferu. They support this theory with the unfinished and empty burial chamber, the absence of a sarcophagus, and no evidence of a burial. They suggest Sneferu might have used it as a trial run for his later, more successful pyramids. So basically, he was just experimenting on it. The Sun Temple prototype theory, another theory, suggests that the Meidum Pyramid served as a prototype for the Sun Temples built by later pharaohs of the 5th dynasty. This theory points to a theological shift towards sun worship instead of stellar religion around this time. The pyramid's shape, especially its transformation into a true pyramid, could be seen as an evocation of the primeval mound from Egyptian creation myths from which the sun god Ra emerged. All these theories, though controversial, open new doors for understanding the pyramids. They show us that the Egyptians were thinking about more than just burial, and that this pyramid might have had other religious or practical purposes entirely. Stories and tales. The pyramid dubbed the Liar. The history of the Meidum Pyramid isn't just about complex architectural details, it also encompasses historical and legendary tales, revealing how unique this pyramid really was. The name the False Pyramid, the local people gave it this nickname, El-Heram El-Kadab, the Liar Pyramid in Egyptian Arabic. This shows how the locals perceived the structure over centuries, seeing it as a unique and deceptive building compared to other, more complete pyramids.
Historical figures. As we mentioned, King Sneferu is the hidden hero of this story. And also Ankh-Khepere-Seneb, the scribe who visited and left an inscription praising the pyramid, and Prince Rahotep and his wife Nofret, whose statues are among the most beautiful in the Egyptian museum, with their tomb right next to the pyramid. All these people lived and witnessed the grandeur and mystery of the Meidum Pyramid. Religious and symbolic significance. All pyramids were generally built to be a resting place for pharaohs in the afterlife. The pyramid's shape was believed to represent the primeval mound from which the earth was created, and also the descending rays of the sun. So a pyramid wasn't just a tomb, it had deep religious and symbolic dimensions. Saving the pyramid, restoration efforts, and new discoveries. The Meidum Pyramid is a hugely important archaeological site, and despite its somewhat deteriorated state, there are immense efforts being made to preserve it and make it more appealing to visitors. Restoration projects. In 2014, the Egyptian Ministry of Antiquities announced a major restoration and development project for the Meidum Pyramid site in Beni Suef. This project includes everything: developing the site to be more tourist-friendly, a new solar-powered lighting system, a large visitor center with a cinema, a library, gift shops, and a cafeteria. They're also developing the nearby Anhasia archaeological site into an open-air museum. This shows you that this pyramid still holds hidden secrets that no one knows about. All these efforts are crucial for preserving this unique pyramid. Meidum isn't just a pile of old stones, it's a testament to the ingenuity of ancient Egyptian civilization in its creativity, technology, and religious beliefs. It shows us that there's still so much to learn from their achievements. Preserving Meidum ensures that this site will continue to offer invaluable insights into the challenges and innovations faced by ancient Egyptian architects as they perfected the techniques of building monumental pyramids.
Ultimately, the Meidum Pyramid is an extraordinary archaeological monument. Its current shape, a result of partial collapse, isn't just a structural flaw. It's a living record of a daring experimental process. Its transformation from a step pyramid to a true pyramid and the invention of techniques like corbelled ceilings make Meidum an architectural laboratory that directly influenced the construction of later pyramids, even the famous Giza pyramids. The debate about its original builder, whether Huni or Sneferu, reflects the evolution of archaeological research, and the striking absence of a burial within the unfinished burial chamber raises profound questions about the pyramid's ultimate purpose, opening the door to alternative theories, like it being a dummy pyramid or a prototype for a sun temple. These theories, though controversial, enrich our understanding of the religious and practical factors that shaped these colossal structures. The historical accounts associated with Meidum, from the visits of ancient scribes to the descriptions of Arab historians, all show its continued importance throughout the ages. As for modern restoration efforts and ongoing research, they are essential to preserving this unique site. Though sometimes overlooked and called the Forgotten Pyramid, Meidum remains a treasure trove of information, offering a rare glimpse into the challenges and innovations that shaped one of the greatest architectural achievements in human history. What other secrets of ancient Egypt are still hidden beneath the sands? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next video with a new story. Peace out.